Welcome to the second MLOps World Micro Summit in chapter session that we host from MLOps World group. I'm grateful for you joining us here today. I'm actually at the moment located in Toronto, Canada. So first we start with the land acknowledgement, and we acknowledge the sacred land on which Toronto operates is the land of the territory of the Huron-Wendat and Petun First Nations, the Seneca, and most recently the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, the meeting place of Toronto is still home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to work in this community on this territory. And some of the proceeds from the event today will go towards some of the Indigenous folks within Canada. So anyways, thank you again for those who are joining for the first time. I'll just take a minute to really explain why we are doing this event. We started in 2016 doing machine learning events that were more general, sort of bridging some of the research in with some of the applications and the business strategies and so on. I think it was in 2018 we ran a career fair, and out of the 60 companies, I think 80% were hiring for machine learning engineers and folks that had like full stack and engineering experience. So it was really interesting. It signaled that there's this big shift for actually putting POCs into production environments, and with that came a lot of confusion. Just being that it's this is a new movement, it's a new set of technologies and understandings, and with that, we don't have a good, strong sense of underlying principles and methodologies and best practices. So we really wanted to explore that. We believe that with this type of work that we all do, we want to make sure it's democratized. We want to make sure folks have access to this. We've been around, I've been around even in the short period to see a lot of companies close their doors because they couldn't figure out how to do, for example, an e-commerce. And these are some of the larger companies here within Canada or elsewhere, right? So we want to sort of mitigate or give a lot of opportunity for folks to onboard some of the lessons learned, not only from the larger companies, but from everybody's experience, whether you're a small, medium, or large size, even a FANG, one of the FANG companies itself. So that's really the goal, first and foremost. But on an individual level, I hope everybody walks away with some important contacts, some networking. Typically, we would do this in person. The events that we host and some of the community gatherings can range from, we've done for 1,800 people to 500 that we do every other month. And we will eventually be looking to do this in person in the Bay Area. And if anybody's interested in hosting or getting involved, joining our team, send me a message. Like I said, we hope you make some meaningful contacts. And part of the beauty of this platform is that you can message everybody that's here in attendance, and we'll get those. So yeah, shoot me a message if you want to get involved or you think that you might be interested in hosting in the future, so on and so forth. I want to mention a couple housekeeping items just in terms of your experience here. Chrome browser tends to be the best. If you're operating behind your company VPN, you might experience some issues. If you're operating from a laptop, great. Desktop, great. Cell phone, not so great. Tablet, might incur some tech issues. So I always recommend going through your browser on a desktop or laptop. Ask questions. I think the value that you get today will be directly proportional to the questions that you're asking. And I hope you can stray a little bit outside your comfort zone. I say that because we're all at different stages of the learning journey. And again, this is new. So what may be well understood for some might not be for others. So all questions are welcome. And yeah, that goes for the workshops and just as much these sessions as well. Thank you very much for the speakers for taking the time. You'll notice that they answer questions. It's really good. This is one of the rare instances in which I do enjoy virtual over in person. It's easy for us to ask a lot of questions and see and respond to those really quickly and efficiently. So that's the good thing. As I mentioned, you can toggle between the different chats, go in and out of rooms, and the video sessions themselves, for the most part, they'll be edited and sent. Sometimes PR companies or PR divisions of certain companies will allow us to sort of replicate and send out the videos. In that case, we won't send those out. So it's good to attend the talks that you'd like. But for the most part, that's okay, and we'll edit those and we'll send those out. We'll also be sending you out the videos from previous sessions as well. So if you're joining, we consider you part of the community. Welcome. and you'll have access to a lot of content from the past events as well. So we hope to keep it that way going forward. Before I get to a couple of the last things, I did want to mention in November, we'll be gathering again for the Toronto Machine Learning Summit. And what that is similar to this, 2 days of workshops, 2 full days of talks. So I think you have 70 speakers, roughly 25 long form, multiple hour workshop sessions. And the cost for that is, I think, $70 US, around $100 Canadian. So it's pretty good value. It allows us to cover the costs and so on and so forth. And I think it's a really good learning experience for a lot of people. So if you have a chance, go over to torontomachinery.com. There's going to be a lot of really highly experienced speakers, a lot of really important sessions and topics that we'll be covering. Directors from companies directing the AI from Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, amongst others, and some really interesting folks from the academic side, really interesting people from all walks of life. So I hope you have a chance to check that out. What we instruct them to do is think of the content and the lessons that they've learned throughout their careers that are going to be most helpful for our community, and we have a committee that helps with that. So those are sort of the lens in which we're looking at this content. So it is tailored, and I think you will find it interesting. So if you have a chance, go on to torontomachinery.com and check that out. You can register. Tickets are open. It's going to be virtual, at least until 2022. Okay, moving along. I want to thank you, the volunteers. Thank you to the volunteers willing to help out, the steering committee as well, Faraz for putting this on and chairing this event, the staff that we have, and obviously the speakers who dedicate their time to do this, and taking to this ethos of sharing and openness and the democratization of this information and experience that we have. Thank you for all those who are joining. It's virtual. It has a couple blips. I know everybody has Zoom fatigue. At some point, you've probably experienced this over the last year and a half. So thanks for joining in this session and sitting it out. I really appreciate that. Thank you to the sponsors. So we have some really good sponsors here today. Tenstorrent. Tenstorrent has been a really great partner for us this year. They do AI-powered chips for deep learning and machine learning. So when you see the money they raise, the team that they have, it's really interesting. And I think they're looking still for some partnerships, both on the private and academic side. They're looking to get feedback, and they're just generally really nice people. So I hope you check them out. Loblaws Digital. Loblaws is a grocery store chain, one of the largest in Canada. They have a ton of data, especially with COVID lockdown and people doing a lot of online shopping. During the healthcare, they do some healthcare related things as well. Obviously, they have data from sort of the clients in the pharmacy and so on. But anyways, point being is that they're doing some really forward-thinking machine learning applications, and they have some really interesting projects. So if you have a chance, check them out. Lastly, AltaML. AltaML is the bridge between a lot of the research, cutting-edge research and applications in industry. So they're really interesting as well. You can check them out as well as the other sponsors by going onto the Expo booth on, I guess it would be your left-hand side of the tab of the screen. And our silver sponsors, we have Fiddler, Iguazio, Selden, Data IQ, Pachyderm, and Run AI. And these are really important for us because they're really at the forefront of offering platforms, technology, assistance in putting models into production. They suit different interests, different needs, different sizes of your team. But I do encourage you to check them out. You've probably heard of the majority of them. You will learn more about them today, and perhaps have learned some of the lessons that they've given in the workshops yesterday. But anyways, they're very important partners for us. What would help us as well is if you go over on the booth side, on the expo side, on your left-hand side of the screen, and check out what they're giving away. So they're giving away anything from $100 Amazon gift card to retro Air Jordans. And you'd be surprised. A lot of people think that when they go onto the expo booth, they're going to suddenly be presented face to face with a stranger, and that's always really jolting. That's not the case. You get to read a little bit about the company, look at a video if you'd like, and there's a button where you can click, and then all of a sudden, poof, you're registered, and you are in the draw to win some really cool prizes. So the odds, I can tell you, are fantastic. We're always surprised that somehow people forget to do that. So I hope that you can, and you can visit some of the sponsors that way as well and help support. That being said, I am going to wrap this up. I'm nearly up to time. We will be getting started very shortly. Um, the sessions on the left will start to populate a couple minutes before the time. I hope you enjoy. I hope you ask a lot of questions, and I hope you get to meet some new people. And most importantly, stay tuned and stay with us, because in 2022 we'll be doing this live, and I can tell you that's always a blast. So that being said, I will pop off. You'll see me back here for one of the sessions in a couple hours. Enjoy, and we'll be in touch. Take care.